Okay. Dang. Okay. Hey y'all, it's Queen Yuri, the quintessential entrepreneur, Riverside RV housewife of YouTube Tarot. Y'all know what it is. Okay, I was getting two phrases: preconceived notion and opioid addiction. Okay, I'm just gonna go with the reading like that. Let's see. I'm being drawn to these cards first. It's a bit unusual. Let's see. Afternoon, weekend, joy, square, happy, euphoria, and I don't know, does it say archery or ecstasy? Oh my goodness, it actually came out in the cards. Ecstasy. Okay, ecstasy, euphoria, joy, motivation, weekend, afternoon. Okay, free time is on here, but it looks like first time. And houseboat, square. Yeah, I was getting that opioid addiction thing. Um, it's so funny that ecstasy and euphoria um, came out with with that first card pulled, and I almost stuck this card back in the deck, but since how it fell out, I was like, well, let me see. And so yeah, it could have been someone who had like an opioid addiction or their first addiction, for the first time. Could have been that they were really like very young. They could have been very, very young. And okay, so I know me personally, I struggled with opioid addiction when I was like very young. Um, it was actually um, after my divorce with my ex-husband that I started hanging out with my second love. And I don't know, it didn't work out. But we were so close at the time that it was difficult for us to quit hanging out. And so it was just weird to me, that it didn't work out. And at the time, I didn't know how to process um, like my divorce, and having a small daughter that um, you expect the whole time that you know you have children, that their father's going to be in their life. And growing up in like a very Christian household, I mean, certain things can pressure you into like the opposite direction. Like so anyways, I think that this could be about a drug problem that you once had. For some people, you may need to like go to rehab if you've had a drug or alcohol problem. Like going to rehab and getting clean is like what you need to do. And or what you should do. um okay, that aside, if that's in your past, if people are like bringing up like in like your opioid addiction that you once had in the past or something like that, for whatever reason. It's like they're bringing it up to like distract you from what's going on like currently or something like that. And I'm hearing the Weeknd song, I'm So Glad We're Acquainted. So maybe they're trying to, maybe you've gotten acquainted with someone who is like someone that you want to spend all your free time with, all your leisure time with, someone who motivates you and brings you lots and lots of joy. It's like somebody, it could be that someone's jealous of that relationship that you have with someone that you're newly acquainted with. And maybe they're trying to tell them, oh, well, you know, they used to have an opioid addiction, or she used to have an opioid addiction, or he used to have an opioid addiction. It's like, okay, or he or she was addicted to ecstasy. You know, she was addicted to ecstasy, or she was I don't know. I'm getting like an episode of Euphoria, or like maybe that was in your past or something, but like now it seems like you're living a totally different, like, happy life. Maybe you live like in a houseboat or something, like by the sea. Like you have maybe you bought a little square of land on the beach. You're living in a houseboat. You're newly acquainted with someone new, someone sophisticated, someone who like motivates you to what? Oh my goodness, acquaintance is here on this. Someone who motivates you to like keep your stability intact. And like they like someone who motivates you to like keep your priorities straight. Like you can have productive conversations with this individual. Hi Goosey, this is my Goosey. So she's making her debut today. But yeah, and someone who is like you can constructively bounce your ideas off of, and you know, you can ask them questions, you know, thought-provoking questions, you know, and you know, like open-ended questions, and you can have like a free-flowing conversation and speak about anything intellectually without them getting upset or mad or feeling attacked because you're having a conversation. Like maybe it could be someone like from your past that you know, you could never have a conversation with them without them feeling attacked or angry, or without them feeling ratchet, or like, you know, those people that you can't even speak to without them like thinking that it's time to argue. You know, like it ain't nothing wrong with being ratchet, but confrontational. Okay, so someone is like very confrontational. Like every time that you want to have a conversation with them, they think it's time for an argument or time for a confrontation. And maybe you're trying to have like a productive conversation that can motivate the both of you in a positive direction. But every time you want to have a conversation, they see it as an argument, because like maybe they're just determined to go down like a negative struggle path or something like that. They don't want to have a productive conversation. So when you try to have a productive conversation, they get angry because who are you, like someone doesn't want to be motivated. Someone likes to be like lackadaisical and underwhelming and boring. Someone enjoys being boring, and they know that, maybe you like left this person because like they wouldn't get off their butt. They just wouldn't. They were a couch potato, and the highlight of their day was being someone that you literally could not even have a conversation with. And the second something was wrong and it was like time for an adult conversation, you know how literally any couple or any colleague or any peer, every now and again you have to like converse, with someone. And this could even be like in the workplace. Maybe you have like an office partner, or like someone like adjacent to your cubicle, and like I'm getting like a job where the work is like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm just gonna say interflowing with one another. Like, or maybe it trickles throughout or something. To where like one person does one thing and another person does another thing, and the information has to be filled correctly, or if it gets to the next person and it's like wrong or something like that, then it can kind of throw off the flow of the result, and which, if it's like things that have to be filed, if it's paperwork that has to be filed for like documentation purposes, like billing or something like that. Okay, I'm getting there is communication involved with a relationship, whether it be work, or maybe you could tutor a study group at your college, or you could be like the president of the biology club at your college. You could have colleagues, you could have peers in the workplace, or if you're a teacher, maybe you communicate with the other teachers about like events coming up. If you teach English, or Spanish, or reading, or anything like that, I'm sure that the teachers have to communicate about different things, different events, and I know that they do, because they have teachers in service days where the teachers are strictly collaborating and whatnot. So even in marriage, obviously you have to communicate with your partner about certain things, especially finances being the quickest top thing that I could think of, that is just absolutely necessary to communicate about in a marriage. So maybe you're in your marriage, say for example your cubicle partner or whatever that you're working with, we're going to call that your work marriage, whether it be male, female, same sex, or whatever, we're going to refer to it as a marriage. You're in your marriage, and it's time to communicate about finances, numbers, documentation, what's it called, referrals, things like that. um and like every time it's time to communicate, like your partner um is like gets upset and defensive and like just pretends like you're attacking them when you're really just trying to ask the necessary questions. Or maybe they didn't fully document, like maybe they left things incomplete. They had no explanation as to why things were incomplete. If this is in the workplace, obviously they're leaving like lots of spaces blank. It's like they ask you for work. They ask you for, certain specific documents. You give them the documents. When they bring the documents back to you, they just have so much of it incomplete and blank. You're like, you gave me these documents. I'm supposed to record, this into the system, into the computer. Why? I'm just wondering why so much of it is blank. And is there any particular reason why it's blank? Or I noticed, I saw consistency with the information being wrong on this one. Maybe you just know how it's supposed to be done and it's consistently wrong. So you try to have a conversation and try to tell them how to do it right so that they're not getting it wrong. And they think that, you're a know-it-all. Who are you to come at me and tell me that it's wrong? But it's kind of messing up the flow of how you can record it into the system, because you have to go back and do their job. And so you're just wondering in your mind, okay, you don't know if they're doing it on purpose, if they just don't know the right answer. You don't know. All you know is that, well, it's a lot quicker and it's a lot more productive, and we get a lot more done whenever it's done right. That's the whole point of there being instructions. I'm getting someone who actually, maybe they ask you for instructions, or they ask you for like what they're supposed to do and this and that, and then you tell them, you give them like a frequently asked question deal or whatever, and you actually walk through the whole thing with them, and then they bring you back the documents. They just pretty much freestyle. They left stuff blank that they just wanted to leave blank. They just filled in any random answer when they didn't know the answer. And it's just like, okay, that's cool, but I'm just wondering why you did it like this. Is it the fact that you didn't know? Is it the fact that the person who you were supposed to communicate with, were they unavailable? Is it that you were expecting someone else to do that part for you? Because if you don't know, that's what I'm here for. I can tell you, what it's supposed to be. I'm seeing that this is someone that you actually trained. You actually trained this person. This could be someone that it is possible that you actually bring this person to work with you, because maybe they don't have transportation, or they didn't have transportation, or maybe they didn't have transportation for years, and because they were their house was on the way to work, you're just kind to this person. They're your office buddy. They're in the cubicle adjacent to you or parallel to you, and so you swing by and you pick them up from work. Maybe you bring a lunch for them too, as well as yourself. Maybe because you're just responsible like that, that's just something that's just not too much to ask. That's just a kind gesture that you're fine with. Maybe you have children, you pack your children's lunch, you pack your lunch, and you're just kind enough to do a kind favor for maybe a coworker, and maybe you're just kind like that. Whatever, it's just part of you all's routine. It could be because they pay you a little bit of gas money at the end of the week on their after they get their check. Maybe they pay you a little bit of money for the gas, and so out of the kindness of your heart, you bring them a lunch, just to let them know it ain't even all like that. You ain't trying to take advantage. And so maybe you were kind to this person, driving them to work every day for 3 years, bringing them lunch for 3 years, and you're noticing that they're like heavily slacking off, with the work, with the documents. So you're like, what's going on? You've been, consistently leaving this stuff blank, and that just kind of puts extra work on me, or it leaves me, dissatisfied, or I have to do extra work. You're doing a lot less, what's going on here? And I'm getting that it could be that it's just absolutely necessary that it gets done. Maybe you have to meet a certain quota by the end of the day every day, and when they don't do their stuff, and you have to get extra tasks placed onto you, there could be like a time constraint or something, and then you both are penalized or something like that. So you're just trying to communicate to see what's up. I'm just trying to see, because this just happens so often. And when you come at them, you're met with hostility. Like someone wants to pull out their camera in a situation where you have documents in your hand. You're pointing to paper. You want to know why something is left incomplete, and they're pulling out their camera, recording you like, I'm gonna go to HR because you shouldn't be asking me about none of this. But it is literally within your job description to ask them about that. And they're just pretending like it's not. It's like someone is pretending like your jobs aren't directly connected. And that's just the narrative that they're carrying in their head. And you know that you're in the right. But who wants to have a conversation with someone who has that is them? Like, there's basically what they're saying is, I did wrong, I did it on purpose, and I don't want to have a conversation about it, and I don't care that there is extra work being placed on you. It could be that someone has maybe you work for a company. You could be an auditor or something like that, and you spend all night for like 8 hours out of the night, at a hotel desk, auditing and setting up for the morning. And then the person who comes on the morning shift, they're late, very, very late, and you've already been there for 8 hours. Okay, and the requirement could be that you have to stay at minimum an extra 4 hours, in order to relieve the previous person. It could be possible that, like, that the person, it could be the person who is coming in late could be the supervisor. And it's like, so they're not fully, getting the consequences. Like, say for example, if it was someone who was not the supervisor, probably the supervisor would give them a certain amount of chances, maybe 10 chances to do so, and then they might relieve them. Or maybe it is that maybe the supervisor knows this person personally, and they won't fire them. They're not recording when they show up late, something like that. So they keep taking advantage. They're an hour late, an hour and a half late, 2 hours late, and it's consistently, and they keep expecting you to cover for them. You're fine with it every now and again. Maybe they call and they ask, like, hey, can you cover for me? And it's like, yeah, you cover for them a few times, but then it just gets to the point, maybe now they're getting to the point where they're like 4 hours late. Now they're 5 hours late, and you're like, that was 5 hours. I have to drive home after this, right? You're starting to communicate, because you're like, dude, it just looks like you're just taking advantage. Or maybe you don't want someone to take advantage of you. So when they're late, like, you gave them 3 chances. You're like, look, we're about to have a conversation about, like, why are you late? It's like, now you have to either, even though the supervisor keeps, not recording it, they do pay you. You know that they're not gonna fire this person because they know them or whatever. You got half a mind to just leave the hotel to fend for itself until they get there, because you're sick of the dynamic. But maybe you have children that you're trying to provide for, and this job here helps you to provide for your children and keep your children, like, living with you under a roof. You can pay your rent, stuff like that. It's like, you don't want to rock the boat too much, but at the same time, it's just like, well, let me see if I can just, like, have a conversation with them. Let me see if I can communicate. Or maybe the person who is supposed to be night auditing, they don't night audit. They just sit there in the desk all night. And then when you get there in the morning, they expect you to do their job that they should have done, that they had 8 hours to do all night. But instead that they were sleeping, they slept those whole 8 hours until the last hour when they set up last minute for the morning shift, and then they left. They left you their work that they were supposed to do. And so now between the morning buzz or whatever, you have to, like, find time to prioritize doing their work. They want you to cover for them. And it's like, maybe it's getting to the point where that they're doing that to you on purpose. They just intentionally do a half-assed job, very, very intentionally. And maybe the reason that they do that to you is because maybe you're really good at your job. You're really good at keeping your flow going, keeping calm under pressure, keeping your job, because maybe you have children. So maybe you've mastered, your role there, your job description. You've mastered it. You could have every uniform top, you know, your hair is always looking cute. You come to work, you have your makeup done, you look very professional. When you leave, when you come to work early, when you leave, you're never stressed, you're never behind on work, and you can always leave right on time. Maybe you have the exact shift that you want, you're in good with the supervisor, whatever. Because the auditor, maybe they're upset that they have a night shift job. They're envious of you for working the morning shift. So, like, that's the job that they qualified for. Um, and like, I, I don't know. Maybe you think that their job is chill and cool, but they like complain because they're sleepy and they like to sleep at night or something like that. They're trying to make it your problem or something like that. It's like they're just already mad, but they're mad at themselves. It's just like, well, why did you know, we've been working here for like 5 years. Um, you know, why didn't you ever get another job? Why did you even work here to begin with? I'm seeing that this was someone, maybe they were like living with their parents. They didn't even need a job, but they chose to get a job. They got the auditor for no reason, just because they felt like having a job. Then maybe you're like, I don't know. I'm getting, you're very kind for this person. You're very thoughtful. I'm seeing someone who's thoughtful, like they leave somebody a lunch, or they bring snacks to work and leave them in the kitchen for everybody. You know, on like every day, everybody gets cookies or something like that. And like, they know that you're the one who leaves the cookies to kind of like just pep up everybody's day. And like, but they get mad at you because they chose to get a job and they didn't like the job that they chose to get, when they didn't even need a job because they were living with their parents and their parents were perfectly fine with them living with them. So they didn't need a job. I'm getting their parents fed them, like let them drive their car, let them live in their yard, and they're like 40. So you know that their parents weren't going to say anything. But yet they come to work every day mad at you because of the job that they went to an interview, drove to their interview, answered questions, filled out an application, and filed documents to get that job. Now they show up to work mad at you every day because you seem happier at work than they do. And so they leave you a ton of work just so that you can't casually scroll through your phone throughout the day. Like, they don't want you to just be like enjoying your time while you're at work because they're upset. They want to take out their anger on you by, maybe they eat at night, they leave crumbs, they leave it dirty, you know. Maybe they're supposed to, you know, take out the trash. That's a part of their job description. They don't do it. They leave it for you. And I'm seeing like it could be the dynamic where you're legitimately a woman and they are a man. And that's probably why they were able to get hired on the auditing shift, the night shift, because they were a man. I'm getting, they don't take out the trash. They expect you to go to the dumpster after they've used the garbage for a full 8 hours, just eat nonstop because there's nobody coming in and out or out of the hotel really at night. And well, maybe they do come in and out, but maybe they just check in and keep going. You know, it's a lot less busy at night. It's just more so of a, you know, I'm just checking in and I'm going to my room real easy. Maybe they don't even, put it into the system. Whenever people check in, they just kind of like jot it down on a piece of paper, and they expect you to put into the system everything that they were supposed to have done, that they just didn't even bother to click around on the freaking mouse to put the information into the computer. They expect you to get to work bright and early, a female, hair done, makeup on, nails done, jewelry on. Maybe you wear heels, maybe you wear flats, but you're fully dressed in your uniform and everybody's about to see you all day. They left the garbage for you after they ate all night for 8 hours straight because they didn't even bother to do their work. They left a stack of paper that they've jotted down, everybody who's done checked in. They jot it down. They're delegating work to you. They're not your supervisor. They didn't even audit. They didn't even gather the finances from the night before, place it into the computer or the system. They didn't handle any of the hotel complaints. They just jotted it down in a book. 0203 complained about this needs to be fixed, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. They didn't tell housekeeping anything. The little things that they're supposed to fix themselves, they didn't do anything like that. They left it all for you. They didn't do any you know how you're supposed to call the sister companies and stuff like that. You're supposed to get the tallies and percentages and see how your sister companies are doing. They didn't, neglected it, didn't do any of that. Left it all for you because they're frustrated at you because they feel like you actually go to work and you go with the flow of your job. You do your work as your work comes, and you know, like a normal work day, you might scroll through your phone sometimes. You might be on the phone at work. You might, you know, as long as your work's done, nobody's going to say anything to you. But they want you to feel exhausted when you get off of work because they claim that they feel exhausted whenever they get off of work. And you're so frustrated. But I'm pretty sure if you never would have drove up here, picked up an application, filled the application out, turned it in, asked for an interview, drove to your interview, said all the right things that you needed to say to get your interview, and came to work consistently, you probably wouldn't have that job. From my understanding, you didn't need it. So why'd you get it? So somebody comes to work every day and they're angry at you because you come to work full of joy with a smile on your face. That irritates them. Okay, excellent. I'm getting like someone doesn't have a conscience. Like they just don't have a conscience. And they act like they don't even have freaking common sense. They act like they ain't got no sense in their brain. Like who goes to work and acts like that? All disrespectful and just outright. I'm getting they're angry every day. Just outright angry with you. Just blatantly don't do their work. Yeah, bold. I'm getting someone is bold with how they come at you. Like I'm getting you're like a prissy girl. You got your makeup done, your hair done. You about to see people all day. You got your nails done. You got like a uniform shirt for every day, a different color uniform shirt for every day. You know, maybe you wear one uniform shirt, every week. Like red shirt one week, blue shirt next week, green shirt next week, yellow shirt next week. But the point is, people are going to be seeing you every day. And it's like for their own gratification, just to know that people saw you take out the trash can that man has been using all night. That's what they want to talk about. They just want to know that. They just want to know that. Okay, is that the highlight of your day? That's your big hurrah that you came to work, you did nothing that you were supposed to do, and you still got paid. I'm getting this as a man leaving a bunch of work on a female, and he's like gloating about it. Oh yeah, I go up there, I don't do my job, I'm disrespectful, I'm mean, and I still get my check. I'm getting he's doing this to like a kind-hearted person. Because you seem to interact well with others. Okay. Because you seem to have your priorities straight. Because you're taking care of your children with your money. Maybe you even have an entrepreneurship on the side. Like a business that maybe you started a business on the side. And you're always talking about your business that you're starting. They don't like that. They feel like you should just like focus on the job at hand. But maybe you get clients by introducing yourself and passing out your card to the people there. Maybe they don't have a rule against that. And that's how you're getting your clients. Somebody's just like upset with you because of this. Okay, well, how should we handle this person? Yeah, population, crowd. So you're like working the crowd. People like you because of what you do. You could be, maybe you sing at maybe you go to karaoke nights and you sing. Maybe you're a DJ. Maybe you're a radio personality. Like you're a host on the radio, like a radio host. Maybe you have a podcast. Maybe, let's see, you could be an artist. You could be an artist, like maybe you create sculptures, or maybe you're really good at like painting, or you could be a hairdresser, okay? Or something sweet like, I don't know, maybe you work with kids at like the YMCA after you get off with, at your job because it's just easy for you to do. You have children too, and you can get paid for it. So you do it because it's like it's beneficial. Or you could sell cookies. Maybe you sell cookies. Like, this person is just off in the corner watching you, upset with you, trying to throw like workloads onto you because they don't like that you're ambitious or something like that. They don't like that you're ambitious, you're taking care of your child, you have a second job and all this. You always have your makeup done, your hair done. I'm getting you're cute. You keep your nails done. You have more uniform shirts than them. They're so angry with you. I'm getting they're a man. So it's like comes across like real faggot like. But you don't say anything. But maybe they're not. it's possible that this person is not even a gay person. Maybe it would make more sense if they actually were gay, because then you would be. But I'm seeing that you actually get along. Like, I'm getting that you're actually cool with the gays. I'm getting you're a very kind person. You're easy to get along with. You're good to work with because you are responsible. And somebody's just like on the sidelines, angry at you, upset with you. Everybody who comes into the hotel who knows you, they have a conversation with them and try to figure out, oh, you know her? Oh, well, what happened? How'd y'all meet? Oh, okay. How long did y'all know each other? What all did y'all do when y'all knew each other? Oh, what all did y'all talk about? Oh, where all did y'all go? Did y'all, like, just prying, like, just to get the information so that they can say, oh, I'm angry at you. You're not all that good. Yeah, I had a conversation with such and so, and they said that back in the day, you know, a decade ago, that you had an opioid addiction. It's like, okay, well, enjoy your day. You know, you're like, what do you do with that? Excellent. I have a workload because someone is off in the corner discussing me with others and decided to be upset with me today. Excellent. They're expecting for this to, you know, put a real damper on your day. You know, you're going in your head like, well, money must be made. Well, what you gonna do? You know, cooperate. Yeah, I'm getting someone doesn't want to cooperate. They don't want to participate. They do not work well with others. They intentionally do the wrong things. And then if you don't show up how they feel that they want you to show up, then they got a camera all up in your face. If you ask them, hey, why was this task not completed? Or maybe you try to gently and discreetly, quietly speak to them about, excuse me, I'm not trying to, like, you know, start any conversation with you or anything, but, like, you're supposed to take out the trash at the end of your shift. You know, we're all supposed to do it. Maybe y'all all have, like, little cleaning descriptions or whatever. Okay, it could be that he eats all night and then leaves the trash for you, and then when you come at them about it, they're like, oh, well, I thought you were going to just go on and take it at the end of your shift. But I'm getting, you don't even eat during your shift. I'm getting, you don't even put nothing in the trash. Or maybe you bring your lunch and you bring, like, what are those, like a container, like a Tupperware. Maybe you bring a Tupperware container and you just leave everything in your Tupperware. Maybe you have a little bag and you just take it home with you. You're careful to not mess things up. You know, they're like, just like expecting you to do their job for them. But I'm getting you're a little bit of a neat person. Like, you like to keep things in place. They don't care about, like, I'm getting, maybe they stroll stuff all over the place. When you come to work every morning, you gotta fix everything up, put everything in their proper place. They just got, like, manila folders all over the place. You don't know, you have to gather all the documents, straighten everything out, put things where they're supposed to go, also put things in the system, also audit their finances from the night before, also cater to all these guests. Also, while you're still trying to keep a smile. You're still keeping a smile on your face to get at. It's none of the clients' faults. You know, you still want your clients for your business, so you're cheery. But at the same time, you're like, well, I guess I'll just talk to him about it tomorrow, so that I don't have to, like, I'm not trying to go to a supervisor or anything like that. I'll just talk to him about it. But when you talk to him about it, he gets very hostile. He insists that he's not about to do his job. You know, so like, you're like, okay, way to make this awkward. You know. So you kind of like have, I don't know, maybe you have to go to the supervisor. Because he's not participating, but he's on the clock getting paid. You're getting paid too. You're getting paid the same amount as him, doing double his work. And he's trying to, like, himself as your coworker, penalize you because he feels that if you have time to gain clients, you know, and converse with, you know, people there, that, like, they're trying to say, well, if you have time to talk, then you have time to do my job too, because they don't like that you just are doing your job and doing it well. It's like they get off work and then they sit in the lobby in the corner and they watch you at work, but you don't watch them at work. I'm getting, you don't watch them at work. They're sleeping, taking all these naps, eating all this food. You don't care. All you care about is the job getting done. It just seems like a mess in here. Like there's literally, like, it's borderline back. I'm getting, you go to the employee's restroom, this person's got the restroom looking crazy as well. You tell housekeeping fixes it, and then the next day the same problem. You're like, what the heck? This is a bit much. Like, I'm getting that it has been so bad, like, with this person, like, just disturbing the scene or something, like I'm talking about with a mess. Maybe they were so angry one day that they yanked one of the doors off of the hotel, and someone reported it, and then inspection came in on your shift, and maybe you were accused. You know, it could be that like, maybe they wouldn't even own up to it and you almost got fired, but then the only thing that saved you was your good reputation. That somebody, maybe the supervisor came in and was like, oh, I know it wasn't her. I know it wasn't her because, like, she's like my best employee or something like that. So I'm getting, like, it's not like, I'm getting, maybe you tried to cover for this person just out of the kindness of your heart, but then you started feeling like you were just enabling them and jeopardizing yourself. Maybe you thought about reporting them to the supervisor because, I don't know, let's see, comfort, luxury. Yeah, I'm seeing, like, you just want to, if you have to go to your job, I'm getting that you want to go to your job and just do your job without any of this ridiculous stuff going on. Like, you don't want the hostility. I'm getting there are instances of, instead of this person auditing the register, they just take all the money out of the register, and then that's what you have to come back to work to. Just bizarre stuff like that. Maybe you are the supervisor, or maybe it could be that you know, I'm getting like a corporate, with the, wait, this says cooperate. Yeah, but I'm getting something as corporate. So you could be the property manager, but there's a regional manager. And then there's something above, and there's someone above the regional manager or whatever. You have to come to work to, like, someone done swiped your whole register or some weird stuff. I'm getting somebody is fucking someone's ridiculous. Like, you're like, this is so not luxurious. You know? You're like, why can't you just be normal or something? Like, I don't know. They're like, oh, don't worry, I'll put the money back. Like, please give me one more chance or something like that. It's just like, what the heck, you know? Hairstyle, comb. Yeah, okay, junior miniature. Yeah, I've been putting little squares in my baby's head, you know. He's my little SpongeBob SquarePants, okay? He's got the he's got the hair, and he's got the eyes, the little blue eyes. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just getting something like that. Like, somebody don't just, like, go to work and do their job. They just got all of their feelings in their job, and then they stalk you after they get off of work or something. Like, I don't know. This could be like like a coworker who's obsessed with you. Maybe they're like too obsessed. They watch you work. Maybe they go home, they take a nap, then they go back to work and they watch you work. And they don't like how you're smiling and talking or something. And so they're like, I don't know. I'm getting somebody's trying to, like, talk to anyone that they think might know you. Like, everyone that they see you speak to, they go back, talk to that person and be like, yeah, so how long have you known her? Oh, since you've been going here. Oh, you just met her here. Oh, you just know her from here. Oh, she's just a good employee. Okay. They talk to a different person. It could be like an artist, like a singer or songwriter, performer, something like that. Somebody who is a performer. Could be a rapper or a singer, something like that. Someone who performs on stage. You're talking to them, and their curiosity just is eating on them. They go and they talk to the person. Do you know her? Oh yeah, we just used to go to concerts and stuff together. They just keep prying. They want to know everything that you like. It's like, dude. So you pried and now they're punishing you for the information. They're like, oh, she deserves consequences. They're trying to I don't know, it's just some like weird like ridiculously crazy energy because they found out somebody knew you a decade ago. Or like maybe someone knew you 7 years ago. They knew you 7 years ago. Like, somebody's mad about that today. And then they come talk to you about it. You're like, oh yeah, yeah, I was bad off on some opioids at that time. It was about 7 years ago. I was real bad off on opioids. They want to know more. They want to keep asking questions. You're like, I'm really not comfortable. To be honest, I don't even remember. I don't remember most of what went on then because I was on opioids. What do you think I remember? I don't remember. I don't remember. I literally do not remember. I was literally drugged up on opioids. What could I remember? They want to know. They want to know. They're poking their pride in. What are they? You're literally not. All I know is that I was bad off on opioids 7 years ago, and I don't remember most of what went on during that time. I was literally on drugs. So what? Like, they want to. They're asking questions. The only thing you can say is, well, I went through a divorce. I fell in love again. It didn't work out. And I got depressed. That's the only thing that you can say. Past that, I was just trying to take care of my baby. I don't know what happened. I don't remember. All I know is I was trying to take care of my baby every day. I was a divorcee. I fell in love again. And it didn't work. But I know that that person loved me. Maybe their wife looks exactly like your mom. Maybe maybe the person that you were in love with was so in love with you. Maybe it was just a very difficult thing that was beyond either one of your understanding what happened. But you know that you love them, you know they love you. You didn't know what to do with that. Whole time you're trying to raise a baby. Maybe you were very young. Maybe you were young, your baby was young, and you met someone who introduced you to opioids. And you thought this is the answer to my depression. After that, you don't remember anything. Okay. Well, apparently my guides are like, yep, okay, fast forward to today, a time that you do remember. You have a beautiful blue-eyed baby boy. And yeah, I was doing his hair today in perfect squares. And my baby Lily is just as beautiful as ever. This could be something about, and I've only pulled 3 cards, and I said I was going to pull as many cards as I could as quickly as possible because I wanted a buffet of cards. So I'm going to have to speed through them after I'm finished speaking about all this. But and my baby Lily is my miniature is on here. I have a junior and a mini because junior's on here. Hairstyle, maybe your husband could look like Harry Styles or something like that. And you maybe you're as beautiful as ever. You look like honeycomb. Your baby son